What's up, my soldiers? It's WildBlueYonder, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the best rank in the Air Force. Now, in my opinion, I think that there's one rank that's kind of the best out of all of them. I believe that every rank has their own pros and cons, but there's one that kind of has the best of both worlds. When you first join the Air Force, you're obviously going to be an airman. You're going to be learning your job. You're going to be doing a lot of the small, like, kind of tedious tasks that nobody else wants to do. You're going to be kind of pawned off with a lot of the things that nobody else really cares to do. Staff sergeants and tech sergeants do a lot of the leadership roles. They have a lot of training. They have to make sure that their airmen are on point. They have to make sure that the mission gets accomplished every single day. So it's a lot more stress in their world. In my career field, tech sergeants and staff sergeants don't get to do a lot of maintenance. They do still do maintenance, but not as much as they would like to. And so you have to stay behind a desk for most of your day. You have to answer a lot of phone calls, go to meetings. You have to look at the big picture, coordinate. You got to communicate with other different shops. So now it becomes much bigger picture, and you're not really focused on just coming to work and coming in, getting tools set up, going out for a job, and next thing you know, it's the end of the day because you were out working all day and it was just a great day. The people who do get to go out there and do a lot of work are senior airmen. And in my opinion, that's the best rank in the enlisted structure for the Air Force because you get the best of both worlds. You get the managerial role, the leadership role of making calls, making a few decisions, and taking a few of your younger airmen out to the flight line, or maybe if you're medical, out and doing certain tasks or whatever your career field is. As a senior airman, you now get to lead people. But at the same time, you don't have to do as much paperwork, and you don't have to go through ALS, you don't have to go through NCOA, you don't have to do any of those really upper level responsibilities. So you have less responsibilities as a sergeant, but you don't have to do any of the mediocre, like kind of the tedious tasks of the younger airmen. So it's like right in the middle. In my opinion, there's pros and cons to every situation, every single rank. I believe as a young airman, you get a lot more freebies, you get to mess up a lot more. I mean, as a senior airman, you don't get as many chances because you should know by now what to do and what not to do. As a staff sergeant, you don't have to be an airman anymore. So you don't have to do turnover, you don't have to check tools, things like that. You don't have to sign tools out, you don't have to get things ready for jobs. You can just walk out and just everything's ready for you. And so you're ready to go. But then on the flip side, now you have to do paperwork when we're done with the job. You have to go out and talk to other people and make sure you're going to meetings and getting yelled at for airmen's mistakes. So things like that are the cons. As a master sergeant, for instance, you get the benefit of being in charge of so many people. Yes, that's a pro and a con in itself, but I see it as a pro to be able to supervise that many people and get in contact with people and people looking up to you for advice, looking up to you for experience and help. And I think that's a good feeling to come to work and feel like you are needed and make sure that you are taking care of your people. You have the power to take care of your people. You have the power to go out and make a stand for your shop, your section. You can go out and be the voice of your section. However, the con to that is that you're the face of your section. So when your section messes up, or we do something stupid, it falls on you. Like, hey, Master Sergeant so-and-so, why are your airmen, why did they forget this? So it falls on you, but you can also tack that onto you when we're doing well. As a chief, senior Master Sergeant, those upper senior NCOs, obviously there's lots of pros and cons to that as well. I mean, you have to be in charge of a very wide spectrum of things. You could be a command chief master sergeant, you could be a superintendent. So yes, there is a lot of stress behind their stripes, but they know at the end of the day that their people were directly responsible for putting 15 jets in the air. And that's a good feeling. At least I would imagine so. So all across the Air Force, there's pros and cons to everyone, but I believe that senior airman is kind of the best because we get the best of both worlds. You get kind of decent pay. You're not really getting paid as an airman anymore. You can finally get to move out of the dorms. That's another benefit. So you get to move out of the dorms, basically live the life of a staff sergeant without much of the responsibilities. You might cut back, $200 because you're not getting that staff sergeant pay, but I feel like that's kind of worth it. $2,400 a year is worth being able to be a senior airman. Show up and just do your job, and that's all you have to be responsible for is just doing your job well and just kicking ass in maintenance. I also enjoy teaching, so when there's younger airmen who are coming into the shop and there's something that I can help them out with, that's a great feeling for me when I'm able to answer their questions. As an officer, I have just a general idea of what they do, so lieutenants, you're basically still like airmen in the same sense of learning your job, going out on certain tasks, learning how to do things, being signed off. And in the enlisted structure, we call it filling your stripes, and that just means to fill up your knowledge and to actually have stripes that mean something and that represent your knowledge. And the same thing goes for officers. You fill your bars. So once you're a second lieutenant, moving up to first lieutenant, people expect you to know more. People expect you to have more responsibility. Moving up to captain, even more so, upwards from there. As a pilot, I've heard that mostly you do all your flying in your first 6 years. Once you reach captain and you're in your captain years, you do great. But some people turn down major because they don't want to be a major, because that means that they're not going to go up to squadron leadership school. And now they have to be a manager. They don't fly as often, and especially once you get up to colonel, because you're really just flying at that point to keep your flight pay, and so it's just the bare minimum of flight hours that they're going to put you on. Otherwise, you're sitting behind a desk, you're doing wing level huge scope ideas, you're talking to the MAGECOM, you're talking to different officers, you're not really getting able to just get in the cockpit and fly. And I'm sure the same goes for other career fields as well. However, I do see a lot of medical colonels and stuff just walking around, you know, whenever I go to the dentist, some colonels like doing my checkup. So I'm sure it might be different in the medical field, but I know for pilots, as you start to move up, you fly less. At least that's what I've heard from other pilots. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's really hot in here. I want to open up my window, but every time I open it up, this freaking hornet, it's the same one, a hornet flies in my room, and it's just like, hey, what's up? And it just like lands on my wall, and I have to like scoot it out the window because I don't want to kill it. I'm going to go downstairs because it's a lot cooler down there. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Peace out.